There you go. Bit cool tonight. Mind you, I just had a shower. You can tell I'm not from BOYT. I shower. I'm just kidding. Some people can't tear themselves away from their van or their computer long enough to get a bit of water on them. But I do. Maybe the solution for those people that want to be on the internet all the time, 24/7, is to live in a big jacuzzi with a carefully mounted laptop just on the edge, for safety purposes. Maybe a cut-off switch just in case the laptop falls in the jacuzzi. Could be a solution. Might you get a bit wrinkly after a while. Skin would fall off. But you wouldn't miss anything. There's been more shenanigans going on. Oh, we got a door. Internal door put up today. It's exciting. Not going to show you. Have to wait till Friday when I do my end of week video. It's not exciting for anyone else, but it is for us. Garden's going well. Trisha's garden. Awesome hooker anymore. Trisha's garden. There's flowers on the cucumber, tomatoes, lettuce are going alright. Everything else going okay. Soil's not the best, but we'll get something out of it. And I had a big bowl of homemade chilli tonight. Man, it was good. Too hot for the missus though. Far too hot. But I enjoyed it. Not a lot of people like hot food, but I don't mind it. Mrs. is going to bring out a coffee in a minute. Not sure what she's having to eat because she didn't want the chili. I presume she's going to have toast, something like that. Some nights she doesn't eat very much at all. It's like keeping a field mouse. Yeah, so the house is coming on pretty good. All bedroom windows are put in, office windows put in. And it'll move pretty up. I think maybe tomorrow you may see the French door being put in. That's a big one. We'll see if they get time to do that. Just turn the camera around for a second. Even though it'll go blank. That's better. I can see the screen now. When I've got the other way around, I can't see a damn thing. That's why I miss comments, unfortunately. We've got the puppy dogs for another 4 or 5 days when our daughter gets back. She's got to get the nails clipped. It's just like having 2 kids in the house. They really want attention, want to be picked up and held. My goodness. If you open the fridge, it'll come from anywhere in the house. Where you getting out of the fridge? What's for me? Looking forward to a coffee actually. hardly get anyone at this time of night. Those in the northern hemisphere should be in bed. Not all of them, but they should be. A fair bit of work on those old windows to do. Strip the paint back, sand some more, fill a little bit of the bits and pieces that need filling, and then stain it. Each window will probably take me a week to do properly. Coming into some warm days now. Weekend's going to be 31, 32, which is beautiful weather. Especially for those that are interested in solar panels. Man, they're cheap in Australia now. You can pick up a second-hand one that's been on someone's roof where they've upgraded. Might have like 4 kilowatt plus the inverter. Pick it up for $350. New setup we're getting is probably going to cost about 6 plus a battery, maybe 11, 12. But hopefully you won't have any bills. But that's still about 3 months away before we put the solar on. And then got all the other bits and pieces to do. Architrave, scotia, skirting boards, painting. Yes, anyone's welcome to come around and help. You're not doing anything. Painting. A bit easier than the old days. These days you can get away with a good undercoat and one good coat of usually very expensive paint. Wife's even thinking about the curtains at the moment. Now she can see the windows up. Get to put them up, but I won't be deciding. I do like thick curtains though. Either like a lot of light in a room or close her up. There. Yeah. Painting. So the easy bit's using a roller. The pain in the arse is cutting in, doorways, around the windows. Takes time. But there are some new gadgets now. Cutting in tools, a little roller you can actually get. Makes life a lot easier. To paint the back section, we already got a couple of quotes. That's why we're doing it. Might get someone in to do the ceilings. They can spray the ceilings quite quickly. But to paint it all was close to about $12,000. Now, admittedly, there's about $1,000 in paint. Thank you. And painters' average wage is about $45 to $55 an hour. So there's where your cost is. The hourly rate. But all trades are like that. Speaking to one of the chippies, he's on about $60 an hour. One of the plumbers was $65. That's good money. Earning $60 an hour. That's nearly $2.5 grand a week, about 100,000 a year. And the windows, the old windows, you know when people paint windows they get a little bit sloppy on the edges, so I've got to cut a lot of the old paint off and then use some paint stripper, take the old paint off, probably need a couple of coats of that because it's quite thick, and then I'll tape up the inside of the window so when I do the sanding you don't damage the glass. And then you've basically got to put like a sealer, acrylic base or water base, is up to you, and then some varnish to finish. Depends how dark you want your timber. Some beautiful timber underneath the windows. It's just been hidden for about 50 years. They are, the windows in our bedrooms and the office are nearly 80 years old. Oh look, we've got a stranger in the room. Hello, Mystic Angels. Want to do some painting? Yeah, we'll be busy doing all sort of stuff like that. What we have to do is find some cheap painter's sheets, either that or cheap sheets that you just normally buy for a bed, because they're all covered in paint and bits and pieces when we're finished. Might look up Gumtree, Mystic Angel, and see if we can find some old painter's sheets. That'd come in very handy. The paint stripper, quite expensive, but you don't need a great deal of it. Like about a litre costs about $40. Then at the back of the house is finished, we've got to start on the veranda here. This one, make it really big. Nice coffee, by the way, very nice. Can she? She's been very clingy today, is that dog? No, I'm talking to you. Everyone else is asleep. I'll have to do a video of the garden at the end of the week. It's been in a month tomorrow. I might do it tomorrow. 1 month on. Bit of progress. Alright, settle the puppies down. Hello, Jay, without the B. Even though there is a B, it's just the J. Have you been travelling much? You're a bit like us, when you get the chance you go, which is good. Yeah, there's actually sirens. It's either a car chase or they're trying to go and get some donuts and have free traffic. Oh good, looking forward to that. We put in a little garden just in the front here because we can't do it at the back, it's a construction site. Awesome hooker. Not the best gardener in the world, so I just want to show how easy it really is. You always put more effort into a garden with its soil and its conditioning than you do anything else. Because like cooking, if you've got the good ingredients, you get a good result. Travelling a bit, It's hard on me this year. Yeah, I find that we went away in Europe for about close on nearly 7.5, 8 weeks. And you're looking forward to coming home, even though we loved every minute of it. You know what I mean? Something special about your own toilet and your own bed. All the other stuff was good, don't get me wrong, but you weren't in your comfort zone. In fact, we found most of the accommodation was pretty good. We're going to the US probably early October now, next year.
Em hasn't read the message yet, so I know they're not back.
They're probably still out going to dinner or something.
So I'll have this and then try.
Yeah, you know what I mean, Jen. Soil is... I try to tell people we've got a seed company, not actually operating it at the moment because of what we're doing. But for years and years and years, people would say, I put in some compost, but the plants aren't doing so good. And I explained to them that compost is only good for about 12 months. All the nutrients in the compost when you first buy it are fantastic, but they leach. You end up with just mulch, literally. And they say, should I dig it out? I go, no, just put some more on top. And then maybe after a couple of seasons, dig it all in. Definitely keep up on the fertiliser when you've finished your season. Yeah, clay is the worst. You can do things with sand. We've got really sandy soil here, but I have no drama with that. You know what I mean. With clay, breaking it down is tough. No problem with moisture, but then you get flooding, unfortunately, with clay. But if you can build up your soil, I know it takes me about 5 years. I put in an enormous amount of fertiliser, compost, you name it, I put it in. And for the first year, I won't grow very much at all. I want all that just to be embodied, turn it over again, and then probably, because you got probably 6 to 8 inches of fairly good soil then. But then you've got to keep doing it. And probably by the 5th year, you're digging down about 1.5 foot. You'd like mixing the soil, basically. I like those 3-prong rakes. You know the big ones you can get, Jan? You can go down about 1 foot. They're really, really good. But then it takes time. Yeah, clay and rocks. I bet you've been picking them out for years. Jan says hello to you.
Yes, I said hello before. But
I know, she's just saying hello to you.
I haven't got my phone on me.
Yeah, but after you get that soil, you've got the basis of simply adding nutrients back in each year, each season. And it's okay, I'm sure you do it, particularly in clay soil, where you don't grow something for a year in an area, you just let it go. But a few little weed things come up and whatever, it's called fallowing. That's what my grandfather used to do. He used to have 7 huge beds, and each year one of them was never used. Yeah, think about clay, they don't want to let go of the rocks. You've got to fight them. There's an old method, Jan, you've already got your garden, but there's an old method with clay that farmers used to do. And they'd wait till probably about the end of summer, so it's been very, very dry. And then they'd get 5 or 6 bales of hay, and they'd lay out one layer of hay in their garden bed, and they'd set fire to it. All right, and then they'd lay another layer. So they do the whole 5 bales on about a 20 by 20 square foot. Now what that does, it actually breaks up the clay into a different componentry, the little molecules of sand and grit. They virtually are cooked and they bake. And what you then can do, it goes down about 6 inches only, of course, is you can then start turning that soil over, adding mulch to it, and it's easily embodied in it, like making a pancake with the ingredients. So that's an old trick, putting hay and burning it at the end of summer on garden beds that are too much clay. There's actually a chemical released as well from clay when you burn it. Yeah, it's too hard to pick rocks when they're so big though. You just work around them. Definitely don't plant your carrots on top of them. You'll have a right angle carrot. Yeah, I saw that done as a kid, how they had like a sort of bed of garden that went down, and near the bottom was a lot of clay. They could never grow anything. It used to get waterlogged. And of course what they did with all the hay after it was burnt, that was put into the soil as well. So yeah, old people were clever in those days. They knew how to transform soil. You can't transform the bed, but you can actually add the ingredients to get a better soil. Because with good soil, you get good food. With crap soil, you get crap food. But we only really spent a couple of hours prepping this tiny little garden. I try to explain to people, if you really put in, say, a week's work in a big garden, and that's pulling all the crap out, the sticks, the stones, in your case forever, but in a general garden, then it's just maintenance after you've added your nutrients, whatever there happens to be, and your mulch, and any fibre that needs to go in there. Yeah, you grow flowers and a few veggies. Hello Death, the sage. That comes from a garden as well, sage. But I always tell people to grow food that they eat. I would lose business telling people, you don't eat asparagus, do you? And they go, no. I said, well, don't bother growing it. And they say things like, oh, I just want to give it a go. Okay. But most people only eat 7 to 10 types of vegetable, no matter where you are on the planet. We actually eat a lot more, but on average it's 7 to 10 types of veggies that people eat, which is just habit, custom, what they do. Potatoes, carrots, onions, beans. It's fairly limited for a lot of people, and it depends where you live, of course, as well. But I like growing food. There's nothing like picking your own tomatoes ripe. I like taking a knife, get a tomato, open it up, salt and pepper, yum. Can't explain the taste of a fresh homegrown tomato, but you can.
And you can read the text properly.
Alright, I'll go black so I can read the text. I'm struggling.
Yeah, because I haven't got my phone on me. I'm going in a minute.
Okay, now I can see most we grow tomatoes, green onions and radishes. Radishes take less than a month to grow. They're a quick crop. I think my favourite radishes are Easter egg, which is a combination of about 5 different types of radishes. Yeah, they'd be my favourite.
There's the cat doing the night across the road.
Yeah, that's what I do. I'll grow my own garlic. Garlic in Australia is horrendous. It's $40 a kilo.
For Australian garlic.
Yeah.
But
Chilies, always grow my own chilies. I made up my homemade pesticide the other day, which is just crushed chilies, garlic, hot water, a little bit of natural soap. Works a treat. I made about 3 litres or about a gallon, and that'll last all year. Yeah, that's why you should grow the things you like that cost a lot at home. Good tomatoes here, and I mean good tomatoes, during summer can be close to $12 a kilo, but they don't compare to my garden. I've actually got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tomato bushes in. I'll have more than enough tomatoes, they're all heirloom, that I'll ever need. And store-bought tomatoes are like cardboard. Mind you, a lot of them are kept in warehouses with carbon dioxide for months before they see the shelf. That's got to be good for you. We're we'll be putting in quite a few fruit trees. Remember I told you there's that cross between a Golden Delicious and something, a Pink Lady.
Yeah.
Have to get that one.
Mm.
You only need one real apple tree. But we're going to put a lot of blueberries in, because we love blueberries. And we've picked a variety we've already seen, haven't we? That one at Bunnings.
Yeah, I'll be back with this. Go check on them.
Blueberries here, a kilo, can be $20 a kilo. Hello, Buttercup. Doing good. We actually had a fair bit of progress today on the extension, and we have our bedroom door is in place. Honeycrisp apple, yep. I'm not sure if you know what a Golden Delicious is. It's quite a pale green, lighter green. It's got little speckles on it, and it really is delicious. But you can never get them in the shops, so we'll have to grow them. I like mandarins myself. It's probably one of my favourite fruits. But like all citrus, when it comes into season, they're cheap as chips. 50 cents gets you a really big mandarin. No, these aren't mushy. They're very crisp. You'll have to wait a while, but I'll show you in a couple of years. Golden Delicious and Pink Lady. They're really young. I like raspberries, but man, they're expensive. And that climate's a bit harsh on the raspberry bush. Hello, Loss. How are you? Bought pink berry to help pollinate the blueberries this year. Pink berries, I've never heard of pink berry unless it's a cross. The Honeycrisp, okay. Yeah, we do. I'm the same. I actually don't mind a fairly tart apple, like there's several varieties here, like a Granny Smith, but there are other ones, and they're great to cook with. Some people don't like that tartness in a apple. I grew up eating crab apples, so they're very much tart. Yeah, all good here, Loss. Yeah, Granny Smith, very versatile, great for apple pies. Like I say, some people don't like eating them on their own. They find them a bit tart. I haven't had time. I was going to do a how to make pasta video today, but we're busy. But I did reheat some of the chili I made about a month ago. Man, it was good. But the wife couldn't eat it because it was too hot for her. Yeah, it's a great apple to have with cheese. I like camembert, gorgonzola, hard blue cheese. The wife won't go near blue cheese. She says it's gone off. So they're too tart. I'm not a great expert on apples, but I do know a lot of things may sweeten the soil. Maybe lime, because of your clay content. You can buy bags of lime. It's just limestone, but that adds something to the soil. I certainly wouldn't put any more fertilisers on the apples. I think that wouldn't help with the sweetness. Hello, High Country. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Yeah, lime. I do remember lime being used a lot in the words that will sweeten the soil. I'll tell you one of the things to do. We can do it here. It doesn't cost us anything, Jan. That is, take a soil sample or two to the garden centres, and they'll give you the advice of what's missing. You always dig down about 2 inches before you take the soil sample. And they've got a machine that tells you what is and what's not in the soil. Sometimes the soil is too acidic. I heard immigration was moderating for you. I don't want to get imported. No, you won't be imported. Very hard to get into Australia. Very easy to get kicked out. It's funny actually, well, for me I thought it was funny. Some lady who had only been here for 6 months, she immigrated to Australia and was due to take her citizenship. When she went back to China and brought back some fresh pork, the alarm bells went off, she went into prison, and now she's deported. All for a pork chop. Well, I don't know if it was a pork chop, but it was pork. They're very sensitive about importing anything into this country. Yeah, so all windows in the side where the bedrooms and office, they're in now. It certainly looks different. And our doorway was put in our bedroom today, so it'll be interesting at the end of next week. You'll see a fairly rapid change, but this week, at the end of Friday, you'll see some changes just within this week. Hello VMAC, I nearly missed you, but the wife told me to go to black screen so I can read. I saw you. Overcrowding of fruit trees I know is not a good thing. As in aspect of where the sun hits them, and sometimes you have a tree taking the sun from another, etc. And the soil gets leaky. They need feeding. Normally here you'd feed things like roses and fruit trees at the end of winter. Just as winter ends, you give it a huge feed. And there's plenty of things you can buy to put around your drop zone, as they call it with fruit trees, where the rain trickles off the tree onto the ground. That's where you put your fertilisers. Yeah, it sounds good. Hi. There's nothing wrong with things coming good. You don't want to be in pain all the time. That was certainly not a good period. Wow, as you get older, cartwheels become basically a non-event. The only problem with your body is that your mind doesn't work with it. What do I mean by that? Well, you think you just pick up that really heavy rock. Your mind tells you that, and your body goes, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? Particularly the next day. Body says to you, now how do you like that? How's your shoulder and your knee? How do you like that? Yeah, that sounds like a good opportunity, mate. You come good and the season's open. Looking forward to some of your videos. If you haven't subbed up to High Country Fly Life, he's got some beautiful lakes near Canterbury that he goes. The low lakes and the high lakes. He's heading for the high lakes now. But if you want to watch some good, just even scenery, but the fishing's magnificent. And most of the time he just lets them go. So High Country Fly Life, if you want to just go and have a sticky beat maybe at a few of his videos, and you'll see what I mean. 2 days of sunshine. Well, we've now got 6 months of sunshine minimum. It'll be 90 here on the weekend, but that we love that. That's our temperature. Yeah, it's not summer. It's not summer here for another 3 months, but we warm up real fast in the west. And rain is a commodity that we love. We just don't get to see a lot of it. How much rain are you getting, Lo? So you're talking inches of rain or just constant drizzle? Sounds good. I look forward to seeing them. I love the outdoor life. Always have. I used to dive, fish. When I was a young bloke, I travelled this country a couple of times, living off the land, literally. I didn't, like people said, oh, you must be doing it tough. I said, what are you talking about? I have fresh seafood, rabbit. I ate like a king while they're eating their pie. You had a drought. Yeah, we've got terrible drought in Australia again. Started the bushfire season come early in New South Wales, Queensland. They lost 30, 40 houses last week. We get bushfires, it's more like a wave of heat, just covers the land very fast. Our winds get terrible on the open plains. Fire can travel at about 70, 80 mile an hour. You got no chance. Although I wouldn't use the word lucky, 2 people lost their lives in that last fire. They just didn't have a chance to get out. Our country's always burning, all year. There is no fire season, it's all year. Smoking, that sounds cool. Are you going to put any sort of chips in there for flavouring? I like smoked fish. Actually, I've done a few things over the years with smoking, and if you get it right, you end up tasting, fish tastes like bacon. I'm not kidding you. There's been a big rush of plant-based meat type foods that have been hitting the market in supermarkets and in fast food chains. And now there are warnings going out because of the stuff that's in there. So I wouldn't be leaping to artificially... Why would you want fake bacon or fake sausages or fake hamburgers? What's the point? It's like, I miss the real thing, so I'll have one fake. Just eat other stuff. I quite like a veggie burger myself. It's mainly greens, potatoes, onions. Probably a bit of egg as binder. But we get them every now and then, me and Mystic, and we love them. Manuka honey. Everyone uses Manuka. It's not only good, but it's a medicine. Now you're getting the real stuff in New Zealand and Australia because it costs a fortune. Apparently Queen Nefertiti, which was quite a while ago, would have a face mask of honey, and I think honey and myrrh mixed together. Not much myrrh on the market here at the moment. Oh, Manuka wood, yeah. Oh, there's lots of timbers you can use for smoking. There's an old method actually of smoking using charcoal and whatever you like on top of the charcoal. You get the charcoal so it's just peaking, then you add some whatever you like on top of that charcoal. Not a big thing, but you can pick anything. Gum leaves, they add a certain flavour. Like we have a lemon wattle, and a mate of mine smokes with lemon wattle for fish which is just fresh lemon wattle, usually little buds and flowers and bits of stems, puts it on top of charcoal. Smoking doesn't take that long. Got to be careful smoking. You don't want a real hot smoke. Your fish will be dry. But getting out and doing that sort of stuff, I love it. Even just going down the river and throwing a line in. Whether you catch something or not, it's not the point. The ocean. I used to dive regularly. I'm talking I'd be out diving for 3 hours. Always catch just what I want to eat. Maybe a crayfish, snapper. I already had it in mind what I'm going to catch. And I would hunt until I got it. I don't think many people do that sort of thing now. Even fishing. People spend enormous amounts of money on boats, fishing tackle and gear. Most of the time they're just parked up inside their sheds. And they go out once or twice a year. Yeah, the wife's not a real big fisher woman. But she's happy to go and stand by the river or the ocean and read a book. There's definitely something, I don't know whether it's primordial within us, that when you catch something and you cook it, there's a huge satisfaction. You don't really need to learn how to fish. I'll throw a line in for you, buttercup, and when something pulls it, pull it in. It's about that simple. But then again, you'll be saying, can you take the fish off my line? Yes, buttercup. Yeah, the thing about trout, what works is butter, lemon. Actually, lemon basil works well with trout as well when you do it that steam away. I'd always take, when I used to go fishing trips all the time, and I go away for about a week at a time, always take bread, potatoes, eggs, flour, breadcrumbs, salt and pepper, maybe a little bit of vinegar. Used to take nothing else because I was always guaranteed of catching. Yeah, even just slices of lemon thrown in there. Lemon and fish always work. The trout wouldn't be my favourite fish because I get sport, we get reef fish here, but also probably my favourite fish is whiting. We get some beautiful whiting in Australia. I'm pretty sure they get whiting in New Zealand, but we get spoiled. Oh, there's something magical about catching what you eat. I never would catch more than what I would eat. Would never do that. I enjoyed the experience. But I think not many people do what high country does now. Not to the extent it used to be done. Fishing is not just for catching fish. There wouldn't be earthy where high country is. The pristine waters of the lakes, particularly in the high country, there wouldn't be any muddiness at all. But I know what you mean. A lot of river fish, not as good as ocean fish. Went round a friend's place, and I'm not sure what you call your tailor, but they've got real sharp teeth. They're sort of bluey, silvery, and you catch as many as you like. And the mate of mine said, come round for a barbecue, we're having fish. I thought, you beauty. I'm thinking tuna, albacore, snapper, blue bone, coral trout. No. He had half a dozen Taylor. I said, what's that? He said, it's dinner. I said, all right. Bloody awful. I think in America they're called bluefish, I'm not sure. No, we don't eat tuna. I used to catch my own, and I'd cut them into cutlets, and I would smoke them, and they'd basically taste like bacon. But never liked tuna, as far as, because it's very oily. Supposed to be good for you, but even things like mackerel I'm not keen on. Sardines. Yeah, no, there's no. I would do the same. I used to let a lot of fish go. Just the thrill of catching it, looking at it for about 30 seconds, and put it back in the water. And you don't throw fish back in the water. Anyone's listening to me, don't throw them. Ease them back into the water. Just imagine you getting thrown back into the water. Yeah, Jan, I know my mum used to love things, and so did Mandy. Mum, she would have pickled herring, sardines, whelks, winkles. I remember as a kid, you go down the beaches in the UK, you get a cone made out of newspaper with winkles that have been cooked with vinegar. I ate a couple and I thought, I don't like them. But winkles were really popular. Yeah, salmon. We could have had as much salmon as we like. We just, again, I don't like oily fish. Yeah, a lot of that crap went on, substituting, like a lot of people get caught out. You know, when you go to a supermarket, and trust me, I'm telling you the truth, you know when you get that fish mix, which is bits of squid ring and fish looking things and sticks of crab legs all mixed in together. Well, most of that is stingray. Now, there's nothing wrong with stingray, but you don't expect it to be in something like that. I think they call it Mariana or something when you go to a supermarket or a seafood place. If you ask, they'll tell you, yeah, we mix in stingray. Hello, Tony. Yeah, people don't realise that slime is actually excreted from the fish for a very good reason. It keeps diseases off them. But yeah, you don't throw fish back in the water. Just ease them back in. Yeah, look, I mean, farmed fish is what most of you buy from the supermarket. Most of it is farmed. I know over the last 50 years since I've been in this country, you could only get fresh seafood at seafood markets maybe 2 or 3 times a week, because that's when the boats came in. But now you can have seafood every day, but by law in Australia now they've got to mark where it comes from, and you don't see any that say Australia. It's all farmed fish. Prawns farmed. Taiwan, Thailand, Vietnam. Pearl flesh, which is like a perch, is sold in Australia, and that's farmed. Most of it's farmed. So grab a fishing rod and go and catch your own. In fact, my wife literally won't eat anything like that. I've got to catch it and then fill it, cook it for her. Then she's good to go. Yeah, they lack a lot of normal nutrients when they're farmed. But people eat it, and if there's a demand, there'll be a supply. Go to sleep, my little Lois. Oh, that's good. Lois only comes here to listen to me so she can go to sleep. I want you to count backwards from 100. If you make a mistake, Lois, I want you to start again. Lois, you're laying on a beach, totally naked. The sun is beaming down on your body, it's warm. A gentle breeze sweeps across you. The waves are just gently rolling up the beach. Your body's getting heavy. You're getting tired. Palm trees are swaying. Your body's nearly completely relaxed. The breeze is wonderful. Feels like you're floating on a cloud. And just as you're about to drift off into total bliss, peace and harmony, 3 young blokes walk past, totally stark naked. Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I? We're destroying this planet, there's no doubt. And there's a price to pay. And as a species, sadly, we're easily removed. Mother Nature will take care of business. I'm very proud of the people getting onto the streets complaining about our planet. It's the biggest protest in a very long time, and it's the most meaningful one. You shouldn't ever argue that the climate's changing. That's not an argument, it's a fact. What we should be doing is saying, well, what can we do? How can we fix it? Not keep digging out coal would be an answer. In fact, in Australia, solar just surpassed coal as in cost factor. That is why solar in Australia is enormous. Power companies are actually cutting back on supplying power now because it's not needed. It's starting to make a trend where, in fact, some of the power companies are going to have massive storage batteries for themselves so they don't waste the oversupply, which is good. But when you think about our planet, it's dirty for one reason: humans. I was singing in the shower tonight. An old, do you remember the movie Liberty Valance? Got a bit of a beat up in the shower, it was great. In that little corner, you know when you can sing into the corner? Well, Liberty Valance walked around, the women folk would hide, they'd hide. When Liberty Valance walked around, the men would step aside, because the point of a gun was the only law Liberty understood. In the corner it was much better than now. It's terrible here. I had a 5 kW system installed 5 months ago. All my bills now are in credit. That's the only way to go, Tony. You know what I'm talking about. All over Australia, WA more than anyone actually. We get, to give you an idea, the rebate we get, if we put on a $8,000 solar system, which is about 6 or 7 kilowatts, it will only cost us about $4,000. US about $3,000, because the government puts in half. I don't know what you got, but you should have got close to about a $4,000 rebate off that, Tony. Just trying to calculate what you get, maybe a bit more, but it would have been a $4,000 rebate. Of course, you don't pay it; it's subsidised through a solar company that put on your house. I agree, Buttercup. There's probably a system of energy that would cost nothing. Probably a Nikola Tesla idea. Yeah. So we get a good start in Australia, but power company in WA had stressful meetings with the government saying, look, we're losing money. But they were advised then to install massive storage batteries. What power companies used to do was produce more power than needed for a reason, because there could be a surge. So And what they're going to do now is produce less power, but in off-peak, store their own energy in batteries, and then feed that into the grid. That makes sense. No, cloudy days are fine. Winter may be a different story, depending on the angle of the sun, but we don't have a problem in Australia. In my state, the darkest day, we still get about 11 hours of sunlight. So, very easy way to work out how much solar you need is you just look at your power bill and say, all right, this is what we use a day, so I'll need to make sure I can cover that or a bit more. Did you end up putting a battery with that, Tony, or have you just simply got fed into the return tariff? Is that what you do, like back to the company? Or do you have a battery with that as well? Yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a myth about cloud. It doesn't reduce by that much. Panels have changed. They absorb even ultraviolet through cloud. Just if it, yeah, you can get some, depends what your kilowatt usage per day is. You'd have to look at your bill to find that out. But you can buy batteries now for $3.5 grand, $5 grand. You can get really flash and buy 12,000 Tesla if you want to, but you just need one that will store enough energy, because if the power goes out and you haven't got a battery, you've got no power. Yeah, you do it. You got to work within your means, Tony. I understand. I mean, you probably could have bought a battery by now, but you donated so much money to the man in the can. Probably adds up, mate. You know, I'm just saying. That budgie smugglers over the years probably cost you. Solar is not, it's a bit of a mystery for people, but it's really not. I've had solar power for a long time. Haven't got it here yet, but we will have, and we won't be paying anything. There'll be no money going to the power company. Yeah, it's the panels that have changed a lot over the years. Hi, the old ones weren't so good. Some work well in part shade, but you still only get part energy. But like, I mean, on average we get 13 hours of sunlight a day all year. I mean, during summer it's 14 and during winter it's 11. So about 12 to 13 hours of sunlight a day. And if I've got 10 kilowatts of solar, I'm getting 10 kilowatts on average per hour. However, I probably don't need that much. Do you know what I mean? If I've got a battery attached to it, I've got this usage at night time, which is minimal. Yeah, it's Detective Susan Brown. Good evening. She's wearing a short black skirt today. I'm not sure why. Yes, we'll have to investigate. Oops, I just dropped my letter opener, Susan. Could you pick that up, please? Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, look, I mean, we have what we need on, but our power bill's not very much. With solar it would be nothing. Yeah, no, I've lived without power, Tony. It's making of people sometimes when you, and it's not doing it tough. I would never ever say that I did it tough. I just did it differently. And having your own solar means you don't pay any power bills. Growing some of your own food means you save money. And the secret to saving money is not to spend it. I think my neighbour's got, he'd be close to 8 or 9 kilowatts of solar, and he still pays a bit of electricity. And I said, something's not right. I told him to get someone around and check it out, because that much solar shouldn't be paying anything. No, I used to love when I was a young bloke, just pull up and think, I'm getting hungry, go and have a bit of a dive, go get a crayfish or a couple of little whiting, take them in, clean them up, get out the cooker, bit of flour, salt and pepper, beautiful. Hello Jen. Stopping in to show my LOVE. What does it look like? What does it look like? What are you talking about? You're going to show your LOVE. He doesn't know what you're doing, Tony, but we do. But I think it's coming to an end pretty soon. I think the time has come to say fair's fair. Tony Abbott won't give his share. How can we sleep while our ape is burning? Do you know, Tony? You know this is true. Just like the Hydra, when one falls, another one comes. In fact, there's a plethora of him under different channel names right now. It's like most people have thought, not going to fight him anymore. I'm just going to join him. Well, the world needs now Jen. Love, sweet love, that's the only thing. It's such a little love. No. I mean, the sad part, people thinking what he does, and a lot of people think it's normal. That's not right. It's not that I have to get other people to live up to my ethics. That's not true. But I don't have to accept the nonsense. I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. It's like if a group of people go to the room and it's virtually everything's normalised by bad behaviour, you're going to keep hearing bad behaviour, which is sad. Yes, I think the famous garlic sauce. You can't cook. You can't fix anything. You can't work. He can't communicate. He's incapable of social interaction. Stop me if I'm missing the point here at any stage. Taking requests. You know, even though it sounds a bit strange, Buttercup, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of black comedy, and everybody to a certain extent has a mental affliction. In other words, a fear, phobia, a hatred. Some people have hatreds, but that's what the world's made of. It's the behaviour that determines between the crazies and not. Good night, Tony. Tony's going to bed now. I hope Bronwyn Bishop is expecting him to come. Bronwyn? Remember when I ate that onion? Yes, darling. Time for a little bit of peeling back the onion, Bronwyn. Ooh. Give me a woo, Tony. Yes, I don't like anchovies. I had a bad experience as a pizza as a young man. Thought someone was trying to kill me. There's only one Tony Abbott. La da 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 da. Thank God. We've got our daughter in Thailand at the moment, having a ball. And in the hotel this day, it's a nice hotel, they've got this waffle maker. And they encourage kids to make their own waffles. I expect my grandson to weigh an extra 20 pounds when he comes home. Some of the pictures my daughter's taken, I'm saying, he can't possibly eat all that. She says, he does. 3 or 4 big waffles, ice cream. This is breakfast. Oh, they're having a good time. best meals you'll ever have. Gianna antipasta meals. We call them Faschba in German, and they're wonderful. Pickles, cheese, apples, figs, all sorts of things. Waffles are a big thing in New Zealand. They sort of took off here in the late 80s. They actually had waffle shops. You know, all sorts of waffles with bacon, you know, like a breakfast waffles, and then they'd have ice cream and cream, and yeah, it went great guns for about 2 years, and then everyone stopped going. Which was pretty pricey. Doesn't cost much money to make a waffle, really. I had one of them big old waffle irons years ago you could stick on the fire. That was pretty cool. Yes, I'll have to get busy and do my detective series. You've heard of Agatha Christie. You've heard of Poirot. It's time for Detective Susan Brown to step into the footlights. Have to think of a theme, music-wise. Not sure. What do you think, Susan? Come up with sort of a theme for the start of your detective series? Something classy, I think. Starring Susan Brown. Tonight's episode: big butts found on the beach. A mystery that Susan Brown will solve. Violin background. Well, I'll have to work on that one, I suppose. Credits. End of episode 1. Mind you, if it's the mysterious butts found on the beach, in the middle of the show you could probably have I like big butts and I can't deny. Yeah, just as an overlay of songs. I need my pills. Pass me the blue ones. Oh yeah. Hot in the city tonight. I don't take pills, actually. Anti-pill all my life. What the hell is in them? Yes, I'll get a bit more somber in a moment, high country. It's good to be laughing and enjoying yourself. The wife comes out and hits me with a stick saying, "Stop it!" It's very hard. I mean, I'm harping on about it, but it's very hard to go to other people's channels, for me, and enjoy it. There's so much conflict, hate. Egos are getting so big, they're nearly bursting, and I don't enjoy it. Detective Susan Brown. Box office tickets selling now for $29.95 with a free poster. The only detective wears a little mini black dress, a pair of sunray dark glasses, and a smile to kill. Oh, we got to go and do the puppy thing. Got to go on the bed for about 15-20 minutes with the puppies, and they get all sooky and cuddly, and then we put them to bed. Yeah, there's something about when you get that point, Buttercup, isn't there, where you're actually uncontrollably laughing to the extent that a few tears start coming down your eyes. And then you're sort of trying to catch your breath. That's living. You read my mind. What are you wearing? A short black dress and pair of sunrays and a big smile. Jenny, Jen. It is a great feeling. Doing that, usually you can experience those things with good friends, laughing about the most silliest of things that may have happened in your journey of life. And you belly laugh uncontrollably. And it's like, yeah, that's good. Because the best memories that anyone can possibly have are shared memories. Yeah, you get what I mean there, Jenny, Jen. Because it's a little bag of tricks that doesn't get opened that often. Some of the things I've laughed at in the past with some of the friends I made when I was playing sport was things like we'd go out to a restaurant and someone started sneezing so hard that their face planted into their meal. And do you know how often that would come up and then make us all laugh again years later? It's just an incident. It was funny. It was amongst friends. It was embarrassing for him because he covered his shirt with sauce and fish. But it was funny, and it's a memory that you couldn't say that to anyone else except your friends at the time later on. If I shared it with you, it'd be like, no, it sounds like it was funny, but you had to be there. You know that old saying? You just had to be there. Because what you can't do, you can't buy friends. You can try. They just are not ever going to be your friend. Yeah, one of the classics. You remember when you talk to your kids, like my eldest son's 40 this year, and there are things that he did that were funny when he was a kid, and they're only funny between me and him. Yeah, and Jenny, Jen, basically I walked away from it. I get people message me, say, well, why aren't you over here? I said, because it's just a shit show. A lot of channels that used to be pretty good have just turned into shit shows with dollar signs. It's like they've said, well, I can't beat them, I'll join them. And I'm saddened by that, but I'm not going to waste my time sitting in a room where it's just hatred for somebody, usually another channel, and it goes on for hours, and they give justification for the hate, and all the people join in. I'm thinking, this is like a mob mentality. You don't even know the situation, you don't know the real truth. There's probably a little bit of smoke within a fire, but all these channels thrive on conflict. That's about it. I don't really need to say much more. Most of these channels survive on conflict. But I am looking forward to getting a few people up, if they're willing, to tell their story, their journey of life, because that for me will be wonderful. It'll be very interesting. They don't have to reveal anything, and they can keep their anonymity easily. It's just their experiences, because loads of things have happened in my life, and I'm sure it's the same for everyone. You get to understand a person a lot better when you know their living history. And I'm looking forward to that. No, it's not going to be a talk show thing. I just will get the people started. I may prompt them about, okay, what did you do after you were a child and when you were a young woman? And then maybe, like I say, we'll have somewhere to go to listen to some real good life stories. Yeah, this is your life. Sort of. We'll have to come up amongst us with a name. I like just the simplicity of one-on-one, sort of an interview, but with me not talking much. Because our life is a complex fabric of all sorts of different things that have happened, from the unbelievable but true to the mundane, but for other people could be interesting. Raising children, what you worked at, where you worked, where you've travelled. We have, like I say, this fantastic fabric of life that no one gets to see because it's just an avatar and name. And I think I don't know what you guys are like, but I like to listen to a true story than one that's made up. Though some things that are made up can be funny and uplifting, but truth is far more interesting than fiction, in my eyes. Might do another one this year, Jan, about A Christmas Carol. I have so much material to work with at the bottom of YouTube. The misery of the future. But it's not our place to tell other people how to do things. It is our option not to attend. That's it. We all know that there's people that we catch up with from time to time on YouTube, but we don't know anything about them. We know what they say, we know their responses, we know their reactions. We don't know them. That's really the truth. And I think if we can get enough people to do these little, and I'm thinking half an hour, no more, we'll find out a bit more fabric about people and their depth, instead of just a name and an avatar. And like I say, you don't have to expose yourself, you can remain anonymous as far as who and where and what. That's not important. It's the story. If I told you to think of a really good story you heard, you'd probably forget who told it, but you remember the story, is what I'm saying. Yes. Things like that you would never forget, Buttercup. And when you think about the circumstance, you're probably grumpy as hell, but it took a time to pass to realise it was quite funny. Well, I know what happened there. The other heel got knocked off for sure. Unless you hobbled out. Yeah, if you hobbled out, you'd be rocking the baby to sleep. There's one benefit. But things like that are unique. And we've all got a similar story, somewhere along that line. And I'd rather listen to that. Like I say, it saddens me to see most of the channels now reaching for the dollar. But more importantly, forget that, all becoming the same. Vindictive, aggressive, accusing, shit show. And they're all the same. Different characters, different targets, same methodology. And I think a time's coming where you'll get a lot of people go to other people's channels that just chat, maybe get a couple of people on panel and talk about things that are relevant of today, than continue to listen to the nonsense that's just the same shit on another day. I don't know whether it's people's egos. Maybe you guys can answer it better than I can, because I don't attend a lot of these channels. But it seems ego and the prestige of maybe numbers or dollars. I don't know what it is, but it's not tangible. In other words, it's just for the here and now. Yeah, we can change it if no one likes it later, Buttercup. 1-on-1 sounds good. I don't like, and Buttercup knows me pretty well, I don't like going up onto a panel where there's 6 people, and I always let people say what they want to say, and then I'll try and talk. And because people want to respond to what you're saying before you finish, they just interrupt. And I get it, but I don't like that. I like the idea of someone being able to say what they want to say, and then finish, and then someone comment on that. But it seems that's not how it works on YouTube. How it works on a panel, everyone talks at the same time. Women have the ability to understand what's going on. Hello, VMAC. But I don't. And it's like, what the hell? So there won't be a panel of 6, 5, 4, maybe 3. But I will warn people saying, look, if you don't let this person finish, you're muted, or I'm going to kick you out. One of the two. No, I don't have words of wisdom. I'm a very lateral thinker and very logical person, and I understand where people get hurt for no reason except the joy of the marauding crowd. Do you know what I'm saying, Jenny Jen? When someone says this person's bad and these are the reasons why, and then all of a sudden 50 people say, yeah, she's bad, yeah. And then another channel will start up saying, did you hear that this person said I was bad? Yeah, and they're bad. And then it's like these mini wars which are futile. There's no winner. I mean, if you've been around as long as I have on YouTube, and you said to me, oh yeah, this person won the argument about that. No. It doesn't work that way. And it's just ongoing. And it's sad. Because when people take on something they think, and I give you the words that are used very often, I'm sure that she did this. Words like that. And I believe that this person is bad because of that reason. There's not one ounce of truth in those two statements I just gave you. It's supposition, it's me assuming, and then turning it and embellishing it, and then making it my narrative, where you all start agreeing with me, saying, yeah, she's bad. Must be bad, because Seeds said she's bad. And I follow Seeds.
Welcome back, Buttercup. I just read. I'm back now. I just put the puppies to bed.
No, that was VMAC.
VMAC, sorry. I just read Jenna Bruce's.
Yeah, no, there won't be any more than
story.
3. I'm thinking just 2, me and a guest, or me and a couple of guests, with the etiquette to let each other speak, or I'm going to kick your ass.
So where have you been, VMAC, making me a chocolate drink?
This time in the morning she's got a coffee. She's probably prepping ready for work. Yeah, I remember seeing you on a couple, Jan. And again, if I remember rightly, and I've got a curse of a memory, you would also get talked over often. And for me, there's no point having a gathering. When you think about what's happening, there may be 50 people watching inside chat, and then there's people screaming at each other. That makes no sense to me.
Hey, Danny.
Danny G, that's Danny G, Texas lady. She's a fine ass old lady, that one. Yeah.
Just waking up. Yeah.
I'm never going to forget that. I told you I got a curse of a memory, Danny. Remember when he reached out and he hugged you and said that? I thought, that is so funny. If you've never seen that video of Danny G's, go to her channel, and it's in New Orleans.
Oh, you
Several videos, but I can't recall the title of that one, but this guy came out and said she's a mighty fine ass old lady. That was funny. I'd like to see a wave of common sense fall over people's channels, but that's not going to happen. Can I have a little bit of tobacco? Just put on your lap. Thank you. People say they can't believe what my bio says, but that's my belief. I can't see your bio. We'll get someone to have a look at it for you, but Soul Child. Like I say, life is far more interesting than fiction. Sometimes it's amazing. Yes, go watch. Danny G, sub her up. We're all entitled to an opinion. I'm happy to get Scarlett Popperfield up, talk, and totally disagree with what she's saying. And I will use the words, well, that's not what I think, Scarlett, but that's your opinion and mine will differ. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not saying, Scarlett, I disagree with you, now we need to fight. Because we all have a perspective. We all have an opinion. And that means each in our own right has to be qualified in yourself to say, well, this is my belief. Someone doesn't agree with you, it's okay.
Yeah, I just read it, Soul. Well, that's your belief, that's okay.
What was it?
Just basically saying doesn't believe that Jesus will come back and Jesus is God. But that's... We all have our own beliefs and that's okay. And if you don't want to speak...
Alright, hi country, have a good day, mate. I'll be looking out for some of those videos coming up.
And...
Yeah,
See you, hi.
Some of the ones that get me, Jan, those when I'm sitting in the back of your car and we're driving for a long time. I keep saying to myself, are we there yet?
That was not paper, it was mine. The paper.
Yes, that's the secret, is the ability to disagree, but agree to disagree.
I just like to hear more funny stories. The one Buttercup said and the one Jan said. I mean, not good that your hubby had an accident, but cut his clothes off and then say, now you can go home. In what?
It's like you were just saying about Saul's bio and him believing that that was not true and whatever, would suggest to me that you believe in something, Saul, which is fine. Each and every one of us. There's a famous comedian called Dave Allen who was an Irishman, and he'd finish his routine with the famous words all the time, good night and may your God go with you. Otherwise, whatever you believe in, it's fine by me.
I'm laughing at VMAX's comment.
What you saying? It's my opinion and everyone else is wrong.
Oh, that's a good one, VMAX.
Well, from your perspective, that's a true statement.
Yes, can't all be perfect like
I'll
us.
give you mine, Sol. Mine's very simplistic. We are all part of something wonderful. That's all I need to say. Your God, well,
There you
Yes,
go.
you have one.
That's okay. I beat you to it, Keith.
can you imagine? It's easy if you try. Yep, that's my true belief. I think we are all and everything encumbered in something wonderful.
Yes, chocolate.
Well, maybe if God was chocolate,
Yeah, I believe in chocolate.
it's worth living. G'day, David. You've been camping in South Dakota. Look out for them coyotes. I saw the steak that you cooked the other day. Very nice. Can't beat a good steak. Sir Charles says Elvis is not my God. Well, that's probably the truest statement you made. Yeah, for me, David, it's just a little twist. If you're clever enough, you can change a narrative to suit an agenda. That's something I've seen occur, sadly, over the last couple of years, where the truth is twisted, bent, embellished, and then put forward as a proposition of truth, and it's not.
Hey, Vinny G.
Vinny G.
And now part of the dunny. Huh?
And now I'm part of the Dunny. My house is stuck to the seat. I hope you got a bidet, mate. At least you can get a drink. I don't want you dying of dehydration.
Vinny, are you texting to us on the dunny?
That's true, Danny G. It boils down to that fabric of our journey encompasses all these people that you meet. And you do, this is what happens in life. I've done it. You find some of the good in some people and you take it on board for yourself. It's your little dossier that you think, oh, I like the way that person said that and how they approach life and etc., etc. And that is the making of you. So it's a very true statement, Danny.
Vinny, make sure you wash your hands before you text to us, please.
Then he was a man who sat on the dunny 4 days of the week. Bum, 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 bum. Then he did his ass and wiped it with a brush. 'Cause it was
Vinny's
easy.
got no toilet paper. Quick, ring IGR.
I've got no toilet paper, call 911.
We'll call Uber.
Yes, what's your call? My friend Vinny in Australia has no toilet paper. This is a crisis. Please don't call 911 with this. Oh, but who do I call? Ghostbusters.
We'll call an Uber for you, Vinny.
Hello, Megan Fox. My child from another god. There's nothing worse. I've been in that situation where you get on the toilet and you go, oh, jeez. Oh, that's good. Yeah, all right. What? No toilet paper. And if you're in a public place and there's someone next to you, here's the dilemma. You don't know them. Do you say, mate, can you chuck us some Danny roll?
Yep.
And the guy next to us said, no, I'm on the phone talking about my friend Vinny. I can't help you.
That's why I always make sure I have at least 10 toilet rolls in our
There's always
toilet.
the sock method. Nah, not many people wear socks in Australia. There's a bit of a problem there. Maybe you could take your shirt off. And, well, yeah, no, a lot of people have bodies that aren't.
I check public toilets first to see there's toilet paper before I go in a cubicle.
Well, we always have, for all my life, in the car of the boot,
Yes.
there's toilet rolls.
And 2 beach towels.
Yeah. If you run out of toilet paper, you can always grab a beach towel. But no,
That's
there's
funny,
seriously
Eddie.
something wrong. I mean, you would all, some of you are old enough to remember how newspaper used to hang off a hook
Oh, yeah.
in the outside dunny, and that was normal. We were so poor, we had to use newspaper that was 50 years old to wipe my arse.
I've always got heaps of toilet paper in the toilet, haven't I?
Yeah, we got a little basket that's stacked up all the time. And we like using ribbed toilet paper.
Yes.
Not your plain
Now,
toilet paper,
the
but ribbed.
question is, do you fold or scrunch?
Yes, it's a dilemma
I know
over the
it.
years
I
that
know
you'd
it's
have
a-
to question people.
Yep.
I want you in text not to type 69 if you don't mind, please, but I want you to type in text, do you fold or do you scrunch? How rushed are you? Your time starts now. I'm a folder, by the way. Usually about foot long, doubled up, folded once, and a little corner fold. Do the job.
Yeah, I'm a folder.
Do it again.
I fold.
We have 1 for fold. I have more.
Two
We have
for
2 for
fold.
fold. 3 for fold. It's starting to look like the folding stuff here.
Now,
Fold, fold, fold.
the other question...
So like spam,
the
spam,
other-
spam,
The other
spam,
important
spam, spam.
question is, does the toilet paper come off the front or from the back?
Oh no, definitely off the front. It's got to roll
Yeah,
off the top,
Yeah,
not underneath.
because if a spider's on there, like happened to me...
4 times.
It's better that it rolls from
Megan
the front.
Fox has the cleanest ass in the world. We'll take a picture of that and put it on the New York Times. Check this out. So it looks like fold. Off the top is coming off quite clearly too.
Yep, front, yep, that's
Yes.
it. I can visit all years now, I feel comfortable.
Or jump into the shower. And then use your feet to push whatever's needed down the drain, David, I guess. Yeah.
Backwards.
Ambidextrous backward motion.
No, you've got to have the toilet paper coming over the front, Benny.
Underneath, get your other people's gams and cooties. Ooh.
Fold, tuck and roll.
I might have to do a dunny
Dunny,
video because
yes.
we'll have three toilets shortly. And well, I'll do the experience from each one. But we definitely used ribbed toilet paper. What's it called?
Kleenex.
Kleenex ribbed toilet paper. Those ribs are there for a reason. There are wet ones. Ooh.
No, actually, I stopped doing that. I
Fold,
had wet
tuck
ones
and roll.
in the toilet. Danny, I stopped doing that because it's
I
actually not
can't
good
do
to
it from the
flush
front
them.
back because of my disability. Well, you could always get someone to give you a hand. You need a good friend.
Even the wipes that say flush friendly, apparently it's not true, so I don't put them in the toilet anymore.
Whilst we're talking about toilets, I'm going to highlight a fact. Do you know tissues that you buy boxes of tissues? Blow your nose and whatever. Well, some people use that for toilet paper. But I have to tell you something. Toilet paper is designed to dissolve. Tissues are not. I know this is an interesting fact that you're all writing down as we speak. Pass it on. We'll just do the Chinese whispers. The fact is, tissues that you wipe your nose with don't degenerate in the sewer. So they could block things. You know what I
See
mean?
you, soul.
See you, soul. Good night, and may your God go with you. Yes, I've actually had a broken arm, Benny, so although mine was temporary, yours may be temporary as well, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, holy shit, left-handed? Are you kidding me?
Oh,
Kleenex is
well, here it is,
septic
B-Mac.
tank friendly because it has to dissolve.
Yeah,
Megan's writing on the toilet paper. One moment. Vinny, if you've run out of toilet paper, let me know.
Actually, they say that you should use the thinner toilet paper for septics. I know what VMAX means.
Megan is screwing Kleenex. Dear oh dear. We've started toilet wars.
Hey, Caroline.
Hello, Caroline 2. Be free.
We will do...
Well, it is in Australia. We have standards, and tissues do not dissolve. But toilet paper has to dissolve by law. Septic safe wipes. Who uses wipes? Put it in text. If you use wipes, you know those little things you pull out. Shh.
I will double check that though, VMAC. I won't actually commit to saying that ours isn't, but I will read the packet later and we will do a toilet video.
Yes.
A toilet paper video.
Yes, it'll be high class, of course.
You know something else that's
lower
really,
class.
really sad? You know your toilet rolls when they're empty. We used to take them to school, even as my kids were growing up. The school wanted them because they made things, especially Christmas time. They made angels, Santa Claus. Do you know here in Australia, we are not allowed to give empty toilet rolls anymore.
No.
We are only allowed to give the rolls of Glad Wrap and alfoil because apparently it's unhygienic to give empty toilet rolls.
Well, there's something in that, I suppose.
Yeah, but come on, for goodness sake, we grew up doing it.
Oh dear, Megan's got a bidet.
I don't know.
Don't do a video, Megan. Whatever you do.
Started it.
Yeah, this is all Vinny's fault.
Yes, you know what I'm talking about, Jenny. You used to give it so the kids could make stuff, but we're not allowed to do it anymore.
Bidet. Like g'day, but it's called bidet. Japanese love them. Some people have little hoses attached with a little spray thing. And shh, imagine that cold water. Yeah. Yes, you shouldn't throw sanitary things from ladies into
or
the
medication
toilet.
either.
No.
Christmas crackers. Yeah, that's right, VMAC. We used to do
Yep,
all that. I
Xmas
did that
crackers
with my
out of
kids.
it. Yeah.
I bought all the stuff to make homemade Christmas crackers and even the cracker bit. Oh, that used to be fun.
I made a puppet for my daughter when she was in about grade 2 out of toilet roll. And, you know, the centerpiece.
Yes, Vinny.
Yeah, if you crimp them a bit, I suppose, then you get into the cracks. Well, a crack in particular. There's a secret to have a heated seat. My wife's worked it out years ago. She waits till I've been on the toilet,
Yes.
then she goes.
Yep.
So she has a heated seat. Genius. I remember a mate of mine when we went diving and fishing one weekend, there's about 5 of us there, we'd just having a cold beer sitting up to our waist in the water. And the dirty little bugger did the number 2. And how did we know? Well, it was very calm waters. Just a gentle swell raising up and down gently. And there it was, like a chiquito roll,
That's disgusting.
floating on top of the water.
Ugh.
And we said, "Did you drop something?" Of course, blokes just laughed, but we moved.
Yes, I think a toilet roll video is needed.
Here's the question. Since we're on the toilet, and we know Vinny's got his device in his hand, how many of you go to the toilet
Big, mate.
with your phone? Come on. How many of you go to the toilet with your phone? Because you can't miss out. Someone said something and you about you in the chat and you can't put the phone down 5 minutes. How many of you take the phone to the toilet?
I have magazines in ours.
It's nothing to be ashamed of. Heathens. No, seriously, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
I'll admit I have done it occasionally, but not.
Scarlett's never had a cell phone. Well, taking the desktop in there's out of the question. Scarlett, don't be silly. Oh dear, Jan.
Oh, Vinny.
Man, if you, from my era, what you would take into the dunny, you know, the newspapers always has the infills about travel and, you know, gardening and hardware store things. You put them in the toilet. That was your reading material. But we always have a tin of Glen 20, which is like an antiseptic spray. I don't know what you call it in America. Obama spray? I'm not sure. But yeah, we just go shh. Kills 99% of germs. You ever seen those ads? This product will kill 99% of germs. What's that 1% little bugger up to? Is he sitting right next to the Vegemite? Unsuspecting children. Yeah, that 1%. They never talk about the 1%. Do you notice? 99% of germs are killed by, well, why can't you make a damn product that's 100%? So we stop calling it Danny.
No, actually, I've
We
bought
call
a
it Dunny, not Danny. Dunny.
I bought a different spray,
Or in Australia,
different
it's
flavour.
called many things in Australia. The Throne, many things.
Well,
E. coli germs.
we all have to use the toilet.
Do you know why I asked
natural.
about that question about the phones and toilets? Is that at a university where all the girls and boys have phones, they actually randomly asked for 20 people to stand up and bring their phone down, put it in an envelope with their name, and they were going to get it back. And they all did that, and then they were told what was going to happen. They're going to check for fecal matter on their phones.
Yeah.
Out of 20 phones, 20 phones had fecal matter on them. In the minute quantities, of course. But there's something to think about.
Yeah, because unless you've got a sink in the toilet, you can't wash your hands until you
Well,
get
just think
out
about
of the
it.
toilet.
You go to the toilet, clean hands, you open the door, you go down, do the business, wipe your bum, flush. But you've just wiped your bum.
That's where
And then you grab the handle and close the door. Dun, dun, dun.
That's where, if you've got the room, you have a little sink in the toilet, which we will with the 2 new bathrooms, but our normal toilet doesn't have a sink in there.
So I think the secret, ladies and gentlemen, is to put on a white coat, large rubber gloves, face mask, and go to the toilet and throw the gloves, the face mask, and the coat in the toilet and flush it. Then when you put your hand on the handle to leave, it will be hygienic. It's just a thought.
They don't want no more toilet talk.
Well, it's all Vinny's fault.
Yeah, it's Vinny's fault, blame Vinny. Okay, what about a bath? Do you believe in a bath? Like, I mean, I know we all shower, but like...
Baths I don't take. I don't like baths. I like swimming, but I
We
don't
always
take
had
baths.
to shower because we only had rainwater tanks. The only time we had a bath is if it actually rained to fill the tanks up.
This
They
is
were
true.
going to overflow, so we'd waste the water. But
When I was a kid, there would be a big metal tub for 5 kids.
yeah,
And depending when you got in that metal tub, it would be either lukewarm or cold,
feeding.
and looking like a chocolate milkshake. And then you're going in there to wash to get clean. Yeah. I've never been in a bathroom that had no sink unless it was an outhouse. Well, in Australia,
Yeah, it's
Vinny
not
grew up in
common
the same
here,
era
Mac.
I did. Well, maybe a bit earlier, but everyone had an outhouse.
No, we're talking about a little sink in the toilet. It's not.
Yeah, no, it wasn't in Australia.
It's not common, really.
No. They have a time capsule shower. Yeah, I mean, to get clean, I think shower is the way to go. Soak in a bath, as long as it's only you, you still don't get completely clean because you've been soaking in the bath for half an hour, it's been wonderful. Then when you get out of the bath, there's this ring of something, like an oil slick around the edge of the bath. Right? So you went into the bath to get clean, and now you got an oil slick.
Well, I know people who have a shower first and then a bath, or they have a bath and then have a shower after.
Well, the worst one I
Yes,
remember,
Jen,
Vinny
Jen.
going into a mate's outhouse. It was pretty clean. But next to me on the wall, when I'm halfway through the business, I noticed the wasp's nest. And the little wasps going... I'm thinking, geez, I have to get out of
Danny.
here. Goodbye, Danny. Yeah, the old We never used to call them outhouses. There's just dunnies. Where's the dunnies? Out the back, mate.
We don't actually have a bathtub in this house. It's an old cottage, so there was no room for a bathtub.
Well,
and
we could have put a bathtub in if we wanted to, but we didn't want to.
And as the grandkids came along, newborns, whatever, I just bathed them in the laundry sink, or have a baby bath while they're real little.
Good to catch up with you, Jan. See you next time.
See you, Jan. And as they get older, then they just have showers.
Yeah, I think if any time I have had a bath, VMAC, I've then hopped into the shower after.
Yes, VMAC.
But as a kid, depends on which line you got into the bath, the water went from clean to like, what's that colour? What's living in there?
See, it's quite amazing. But now, who's from England here? Because it's always been portrayed on Australian TV, whatever, that most English people don't shower; they only have baths.
Well, what it is, that's not quite true, but they don't shower or bath as often. Nor do the French. Nor do the Germans.
No, they don't. I know.
When Megan thinks of a bath, she thinks of a prostitute. Hello, Megan. We're building a house for you. What would you like installed into your bedroom as an ensuite? I'll just chuck a couple of prostitutes in there, mate, if you could. That'd be good. I actually like, probably, I'll be honest with you, the cleanest place you could go to wash is the ocean.
Well, not when there's billions of people in there.
Well, just generally, I mean, for cleaning your body. Do you have an ensuite, in other words, a toilet or shower going off your bedroom separately, Megan? Is that common in the US?
Well, our en-suites have got shower only.
I'm actually building an outdoor shower as well.
Yeah, but I'm not using it in the middle of winter.
Mm. No. You have an ensuite there, mate. Yep. It's very common in Australia. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think... you're thinking of a different... It's not Kingmaker, I think.
Well,
King's Lake?
King's
Lake?
Yeah,
Vinny, is that what you're thinking of?
I grew up with the tank water, and I'm fine.
Yeah, King Lake. That's terrible. That's the town where people were running up the street and just got fried.
I've never had an ensuite until this house is done, VMAC.
I don't like little showers, and the one we've got in the cottage, we've actually made it bigger. We actually installed a screen that made it bigger. But the shower we're putting in each of the ensuite is 1.2 metres or 4 feet across by about 7 feet long. Plenty of space. I don't like being in... I'm a fairly big bugger. I hate going into showers where I'm banging my elbows or...
Which happened all over Europe.
Yeah. Man, they built some small showers in Europe.
What did you... Dug, Finny? I dug a 2.
Sounds like he's digging deep on the dunny. Oh, in Europe it would have been very common. Look, as a kid I would have had a bath 3 times a week. There was no shower, it was just a metal, big metal wash bucket.
Same with us.
It was 3. It was usually Sunday, Wednesday and Friday, off memory. But we weren't a very wealthy family, so that's how everyone done it around our neighbourhood. I dug a 2.6 mil, you could smell the fire. Oh yeah. Yeah, look, I mean, I've met people that have been through bushfires and lost friends, and I was in a bushfire up north in an area called Karoo, and I had to turn off to go and deliver some tyres. I worked for a tyre company at the time, And I was talking to the farmer. He said, mate, I can't hang around, we've got to go. I said, oh, where have you got to go? He said, you've got to go as well. So we got out and we went to a place called Karnama. Well, the bushfire went through and just razed thousands of acres in minutes. The wind was sea breeze wind of about 50k, but with the fire it was about 130k, and people died. And houses just disappeared, is the best way. If Vinny's been through Kings Lake, you'll know what I'm saying. It's like a laser beam's gone through a property. So hot, everything melts and disintegrates. It's amazing to see that, and it's just so quick. We have a problem in Australia when we have fires. We have raging windstorms with them, like the people in Kings Lake that Vinny's talking about. People were running up the street and were burnt instantly with a wall of flames. Just terrible.
Yeah, VMAC, we didn't have an outside toilet, shower. That's what the hose was for before you went in. Hosed yourself off and then you could go in the house.
I mean, the idea of a swimming pool when I was a kid, some neighbour would turn over a half-cut 2,000-gallon rainwater tank, fill it with water, and cut a hose around the edge to stop you getting cut. That was a swimming pool. There was no filter going on in that swimming pool.
Yeah, the things you used to do, drink straight out of the garden hose.
I've drunk straight out of rivers all my life. Never thought about anything.
Yeah, you did actually upstream. You never do anything downstream.
Well, it depends how you are. I remember out at when I worked for the water supply in the hydrology department with the survey, we went out way out in the middle of the desert, and then the floods came in the desert, and the water's the purest water I've ever tasted. But that's, like I say, what we're saying is what I want to do in the near future, and that's get people up and tell their story. Because some of the things, we have so many similarities, is what I'm trying to say, than differences. And by revealing each and every one that does come up and tell, if not all their story, but part of it, we'll realise that how similar we are. And we have very little between us other than opinions or formulated views. But the rest, we're very similar. Whatever your skin colour, gender, it's irrelevant. It's a case of what are you made of?
Oh, we're staying at VMAX. She's got a jacuzzi. She's got three.
She has a jacuzzi.
3 bathrooms.
VMAC doesn't need a bidet. She's got jets everywhere.
She's got the chocolate fountain, 3 bathrooms. I'm set.
Yeah, so I'm sleeping on the veranda. But the God knows. Anyway, good people, we won't bore you any longer. Good to catch up with you. Good to see you, Megan and Vinny. And we'll catch up with all of you at another time. Sure, someone's going to start another hangout somewhere. Vinny, probably. But the rest of you, I hope you have a great day. Or if you're going to bed, good night. And we will see you again another time. Goodbye.